everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. Today I wanted to rant on something that's been bothering me for a really long time, and I've alluded to this in previous videos, but I just can't hold it in anymore. So I want to talk about how strange the whole eating challenges and mukbang trend is here on YouTube. So first of all, what is a mukbang? Well, I did a little bit of research because I'm kind of a geek like that. And apparently this comes from the Korean word mukja, which means let's eat, and bang song, which means to broadcast. Please excuse my terrible pronunciations. I'm trying, but I'm really struggling. And I guess that kind of makes sense in today's eating environment where statistics show that 50% of breakfasts are consumed alone, 45% of lunches, and 25% of our dinners. So yeah, I'm not really surprised that people find comfort in watching other people eat. I'm a huge supporter of the social power of food and eating together as a way to kind of build community and build relationships. However, I don't really see a whole lot of harm in watching other people eat if that is what makes your meal feel whole. There's also the consideration that watching other people slurp or sip or gulp satisfies people's ASMR needs, which stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It's not really my thing. Honestly, it kind of makes me cringe, and I know my husband would totally want to divorce me if that's what I was into. But if that works for you, then I do not judge. What I do have issue with is that North American YouTubers have appropriated this concept of mukbang to no longer be about companionship, but rather to be these over-the-top sensationalized eating challenges that in my kind of clinical settings and circles would constitute disordered eating. Why is this normal now? Honestly, binge eating disorder is an actual mental health disorder. And I have to say, this YouTube trend is fully glorifying it. It's not cool. Okay, so let's talk about binge eating disorder. So the DSM-5 defines binge eating disorder as consuming in a specific amount of time, a specific amount of food that is definitely larger than what somebody would otherwise consume in similar circumstances in a similar time period. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to try to defend your favorite mukbangers as having a really fast metabolism or working out really hard or maybe eating clean most of the time so that they can afford their cheat meal. But unless you're Michael Phelps, you probably don't need 10,000 calories in one sitting. And even if you did, you don't need to consume all said 10,000 calories in pizza, wings, fries, and other kind of highly processed foods that are a really stark departure from your usual diet. By all means, have wings and pizza and fries, but you can pepper them into your normal, usual diet. You don't have to eat them all in one go. It's actually quite possible that this restrict, binge, repent, repeat cycle is part of these YouTubers' daily dietary regime. But they're able to maintain their body weight and size as a result of punishing restriction, over-exercising, and other dietary measures that are put in place to help counteract these large amounts of food. So I just want to reiterate that even if these YouTubers don't gain weight as a result of these occasional kind of mukbangs or eating stunts, it doesn't mean it's okay or healthy, not in the long term, short term, or for mental or physical health. I also really hate the term cheat day because it assigns this moral value to food that the dieter has decided is bad, when had they just enjoyed these foods in mindful, moderate portions regularly, there wouldn't have been this need to go overboard with the moral transgressions. You can cheat on your spouse and you can cheat on your hairdresser, but you can't cheat on food. So we really need to shift the conversation and stop this disorderly talk around food. But also don't cheat on your spouse. Okay, so why are we doing this? Honestly, I don't really know. One thing I can say from my own experience is that I kind of think a lot of these wellness YouTubers partake in these kind of big cheat meals or mukbangs or eating challenges as a way to prove to the public that they don't have an eating disorder. When in my eyes as a registered dietitian, I actually think it does the opposite. I want to make it clear that I am not diagnosing these people. However, from my clinical experience, I can tell you that the very act of binging is disorderly and dangerous and triggering, even if it doesn't result in physical changes to one's body. This is not a normal way to eat. You know, I was listening to this really awesome podcast. It's called Intuitive Bites. Definitely check it out. And they were talking about this idea of the good fatty, and that somebody in a larger body often feels shamed and guilt for even occasionally choosing a quote unquote bad food, whereas the thin YouTuber gets praised for eating 10,000 calories in a single setting, and clearly, blatantly blowing past their hunger and fullness cues. So because a lot of these mukbangers are generally thin, fit, often promoting some kind of restrictive diet and wellness lifestyle on their channel, they're celebrated in the context of their thinness. So it's like it doesn't even matter what they ate during their cheat day. The fact is that they look good and their appearance tends to overshadow their obviously problematic behaviors. I know I talked about this in my intuitive eating video, where I kind of gave a little bit of a brief overview on HAES, or health at every size, but I really want to just reiterate that we cannot judge a book by its cover when it comes to their health and wellness. This is a huge problem because, you know, a lot of the YouTubers that I review or that I've just kind of watched their videos on my own tend to exhibit a lot of the symptoms of orthorexia despite looking healthy by society standards. I know because I was one of them, and I know that they sound and talk a lot like I did when I was at my worst. And yet that kind of behavior was perpetuated by people complimenting me on my shrinking body and my willpower. This also kind of reminds me of the typical fairy tale female narrative that really involves the false belief that the most attractive kind of woman is a woman who eats like she doesn't give a and yet she looks like she starves herself. So I did actually some research on this when I did my master's degree, and I was looking specifically at female protagonists and how they eat in a lot of popular movies and TV shows. Think about it. They eat burgers and milkshakes and fries, etc., and they still manage to maintain their slim, girlish figure. Meanwhile, the mean girl is like always on a diet and she's cranky as just trying to kind of manage her weight. This negative connotation of the D word is largely why dieting has fallen out of vogue and has been replaced with wellness culture. Guys, this is the same thing. I think you're getting the picture here that I do not think this is cute. So for the love of all that is holy, stop mukbangs. Stop with the eating challenges. Stop with the extreme cheat days. These are not entertaining. They are not hot. They're mainly just a gross representation of disordered eating. But you know what is really cute? Listening and honoring your body's innate wisdom. And if you want some more great tips on how to do that, I highly suggest you follow along in my intuitive eating series, Enlightened. I'm really so excited to bring you guys on this journey. So if you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. I want to hear your thoughts on the whole mukbang or cheat day or eating challenge trend. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye.